So when I did the film Heart of Jenin, the first thing after I finished the film, I said to myself, there's a time, because normally you make films and the films have their success, they win awards, they change the hearts of the audience sometimes, but seldomly they have the energy to change something at the place where you shot. The situation of the people hardly change after a film.
So why did you go to Jenin?
I went to Jenin because of the film, but afterwards I said to myself...
no, I mean, why did you go to Jenin even though everybody was recommending not to go there?
Because I'm a documentary filmmaker, and if I'm a documentary filmmaker and if I'm doing a film about a protagonist who comes from Jenin, I have to go to Jenin or I don't do the film.
Right.
I will not make the interviews by phone, what I was recommended. This is not...
So what happened when you came there?
It happened that I met a lot of very, very welcoming people, very warm-hearted people. I was totally astonished about the naivety of these people. I was astonished that I could take taxis without being cheated, not like in Tel Aviv or in Cairo or somewhere else. It's a very innocent city because there's not so much tourism. People were extremely welcoming. Of course, afterwards, it's a complex situation. I also discovered things which are difficult in this society. There's not much trust. Nobody trusts each other. There's not much friendship as I see it. People say very fast the word friendship, but there is actually not something like friendships. As far as I saw it. They are splitting each other because there's so little money that everybody wants to have the position of the others. That means if you have a good position, you will be blackmailed soon and you will be replaced. So everybody is replacing everybody. So there's a lot of things which are very, very difficult in the society. But the people, the warm heart, the way of being there, I really liked a lot. And I fell in love with Jenin. And I wanted to say, you don't have to be scared about this place. The people are not what you can call terrorists.
That's what Jenin actually is known for.
Exactly.
That's what the news are delivering.
And of course, there are terrorists or freedom fighters. It's a very difficult... it's difficult to differentiate what is terrorism and what is freedom fighting. I mean, we have to know that Israel, before 48, they were making terrorist attacks because they wanted to tell the world that they don't have a country. And there's all the time people, if you don't have a country, who try to push the world towards a decision that you get a country through terrorist attacks.
To create awareness.
Awareness. If this is the right way or the wrong way, I think it's the wrong way, but you can't avoid it because there's all the time people who try this way. So it's normal that in Palestine, who do not have something like the habit to make terrorist attacks before 48, there was almost no such things. So this was created through the building of the state Israel. So first of all, it's hard to judge about terrorism, and it's very difficult. And of course, there's maybe freedom fighters and terrorists, because when terrorism begins, it might begin with suicide bombings, and a lot of people from Jenin, or a lot of suicide bombings in 2000 and 2001. Came out of Jenin. This is the sad story about the whole thing.
Okay.
But also here, who committed these suicide bombings? Each suicide bombing is different. How you get people to commit suicide bombings? By blackmailing, by promising money for the whole family for the future. Sometimes someone was shot by a photo was made with a girl, for example. So in order to get your honor back, make a suicide bombing, your family will be fed for the next 10 years. That's how a lot of people were being persuaded to commit suicide bombing. And others lost so many people in their family that they just that they did it. It's hard to talk about this issue. I absolutely condemn suicide bombing. I think it does lead to anything because it leads to hatred on the other side. It's like collective punishment. Someone is suffering because someone else did something. I mean, and what happened, for example, one of the suicide bombers who committed a suicide bombing in the 30th of March 2001, in 2002 in Haifa, he committed a suicide bombing in an Arabic restaurant. And in this Arabic restaurant, there were a lot of Jews and a lot of Arabs. So he killed Arabs and Jews. And especially he killed one Jew who was fighting all his life for peace with Palestine.
Yeah.